screen. Last class, I hope we have already discussed about various classification of cost, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, yes.
Good, good. So today we are going to discuss about what is the basic difference between financial accounting and cost accounting. Okay, in our first semester, we have already studied financial accounting, and here we are going to study about cost and management accounting. So we must understand what is the difference between cost accounting as well as financial accounting. So here I have differentiated by taking some sort of parameter of some sort of basis. So whenever we are going for comparison, please remember you need to consider some parameters or some base. Okay. So first parameter is purpose or objective. If we are taking objective as the parameter, the main objective of financial accounting is to ascertain the financial position of the business as well as to know the profit and loss of the business during a particular period. So with the help of accounting, we can able to ascertain or we can able to know the financial position of the business as well as the profit and loss of a business during a particular period. Okay. But in cost accounting, the main objective of cost accounting is to provide the detailed cost information to the management. Because top management is sitting at the top of the business because they are the decision maker, they are the policy maker. So they will take the decision. How they will take the decision? Without information, can they take the decision? The answer is no. So that's why cost accounting provides detailed information to the management through which the management can able to take the decision. Again, coming to second point, that is your second parameter, statutory requirement. From the point of statutory requirement, we can say financial accounting is prepared according to legal requirement of the Companies Act as well as IT Act. That means Income Tax Act. As per Companies Act 2013, earlier Companies Act was 1956. Each and every company, those who have registered under the Companies Act, they need to prepare the financial statement of the company at least once in a year. At least once. That means annual financial statement need to be prepared by the company. It's mandatory. Tax return. Since you are doing the company form of business, so you have to file your return. Okay, so tax return is also compulsory. That is the statutory requirement. But in case of cost accounting, it is not compulsory for all the companies. It is mandatory for those companies for which accounting record rules are applicable. That means cost accounting record rules are there, cost accounting standards are there. So cost accounting is not compulsory for all types of companies. So it is mandatory for those companies for which cost accounting record rules are applicable. Please remember. So from the statutory requirement point of view, we can say in case of financial accounting, it is mandatory. In case of cost accounting, it is not mandatory. For some companies, it is voluntary, but for some companies, it is compulsory. Why? As because if the cost accounting record rules are applicable. Next parameter is coverage. So financial accounting covers accounts of whole business relating to the commercial transactions. Let's say in your business or in your entity, 5 departments may be there, or you may have 5 subsidiaries. You know, subsidiary and department. Department means your company is one. Only one company or one business is there. You may have 5 departments in your business, or you may be one company, parent company, or you may have 5 subsidiary companies. So whenever you are preparing this financial company, finally you have to prepare the consolidated financial statement in order to incorporate the financial position, profit and loss, cash flow statement, and others at the end of the accounting period. So it covers the accounts of whole business, not part of the business. Out of 5 departments, we cannot say that we'll only consider 2 departments or 3 departments like that. So it covers accounts of whole of business relating to the commercial transactions. But cost accounting covers transactions related to a specific activity relating to production, relating to sales, relating to services. So these are the specific activities. Okay. So cost accounting covers the transactions related to a specific activity, but financial accounting covers the whole business commercial transactions of the business, or whole business commercial transactions, you can say. Next parameter, recording of transaction. Financial accounting records the transactions in a subjective manner. That means according to the nature of expenditure. So according to the nature of expenditure, the cost may be, or the expenditure may be capital expenditure or revenue expenditure. So according to capital and revenue in nature, it will record the transaction. Financial accounting, please remember. But cost accounting records the transactions in a objective manner. That means according to the purpose of which cost is incurred. Let's say we are classifying the cost on the basis of element, like your material cost, labor cost, or overhead cost. So wherever we are classifying, we have to classify and we have to record the material cost, labor cost, and overhead cost. What is the purpose here? Here purpose is to ascertain the cost of a product or cost of the service during a particular period. So cost accounting record the transactions in an objective manner. Financial accounting record the transactions in a subjective manner. And other differences are there also on the basis of nature of cost. Financial accounting records the cost which is historical in nature, that is past in nature. Yes. Any query? No. So it records cost which is in historical in nature, but cost accounting records both historical cost as well as estimated cost. Estimated cost means what the cost will be in the future. What the cost we are going to incur in the near future. Let's say we are producing any product or any particular article. So in the next quarter, what will be the cost? We are also estimating. So financial accounting only consider the historical cost or acquisition cost which are past in nature, but cost accounting records both historical as well as estimated cost. Again, valuation of cost. So on the basis of financial accounting, stock is valued at cost price or market price, whichever is lower. But cost accounting, on the basis of cost accounting, stock is valued always at cost price. We are not considering cost price or market price, whichever is lower, because since we have already purchased the stock or inventory at what cost we have already incurred, on the basis of that cost we have to record in cost accounting. So if you look at the analysis of cost and profit, that is cost profit. So cost and profit, the financial accounting does not show the cost and profit of the individual product, individual department, or individual process. So financial accounting always shows the overall profit, overall financial position, overall cash flow of the business. But cost accounting shows the profitability and cost of each product, each process, each operation, each activity, each service. So cost accounting is activity oriented. Please remember, but financial accounting always shows the profit and loss by considering the overall business activities, the entire business activities. So this is another difference between cost accounting and financial accounting. Again, if you look at the duration of the report, so on the basis of financial accounting, reports are to be prepared on annual basis, as I have already told you. At least Companies Act, this is statutory requirement. Each and every company must prepare their annual financial statement once in a year at least. Again, cost accounting, reports are prepared on daily basis, weekly basis, annual basis, or as and when required. You have to prepare the reports of cost accounting records. Okay. So types of statement. So whenever we are talking about types of statement, financial accounting prepares general purpose statements like your profit and loss account, balance sheet, cash flow statement. So these statements are prepared in order to meet the general purpose of all the stakeholders. But cost accounting prepares the special purpose statements and reports like reports on loss of material, idle time report, variance report, or you can say sales report produced by the sales manager. So these are the reports. That means particular reports or specific reports are prepared on the basis of the specific purpose. These are the type of statement or type of reports prepared by the cost accounting. Again, if you look at the pricing, financial accounting fails to guide the formulation of a policy. That means the pricing, it fails to guide to formulate the price of any product or service. With the help of financial accounting information, we cannot able to fix the price of a product or price of any service. But cost accounting provides adequate data to formulate the pricing policy. With the help of cost accounting, we can able to formulate the pricing policy. We can able to ascertain, we can able to know what is the actual cost of the product or what is the actual cost of the unit of services. So on the basis of that, the management can able to decide what will be the price of the product or price of the service. So these all are basic difference between financial accounting and cost accounting. Is it fine to all of you? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the basic difference between financial accounting and cost accounting. And other 2-3 points are there. So we'll go through each. So simply I am moving towards the role of management accountant.
Excuse me, sir, please show that previous slide.
This one.
Yes, sir.
Another 2 points are there, like your classification of cost. In financial accounting, there is no classification of cost. Generally, we are classifying the cost on the basis of the nature, like it may be capital expenditure or it may be revenue expenditure, and sometimes we are considering it as the direct cost or indirect cost. Okay, but in cost accounting, there is classification of cost like controllable cost, uncontrollable cost, fixed, semi-variable, variable cost, on the basis of element, material cost, labor cost.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you show 1-2 line financial account, cost account difference?
Can I show?
1-2 line. First line.
Plus first slide.
Okay, sir. First line.
This one.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the basic difference between financial accounting and cost accounting. So as we have already discussed, there are various types of costs. So cost accounting classify the cost by taking various purpose or various transactions. If we look at the dealing of transaction, financial accounting only deals with the monetary transactions. That means it ignores the non-monetary transactions. But cost accounting, it deals with the monetary as well as some non-monetary transactions also it deals. Okay. So this is the basic difference between cost accounting and financial accounting. So let us discuss about the role of management accountant. So here I have already fixed or I have mentioned only 5 points. Okay. But the list is exhaustive one. Whenever we are talking about management accountant can able to perform each and every activities of the business. Please remember. So very few points I have cited about the role of the management accountant. The first role is to profit planning, financial planning, and capital budgeting. So management accountant always involved in the business to forecast the future of the business, to plan for the profit. What is the profit requirement of the business in the next quarter, next year? On the basis of that, it will plan for the profit. Again, it will also go for financial planning. Financial planning means where to raise the fund, how to raise the fund, when to raise the fund, how to utilize those funds. So whenever we are talking about utilization of those funds, then it is coming under the capital expenditure decision also. That is capital budgeting. Under capital budgeting, what it will do? The management accountant again will look after the various projects of the business. So it can go for the project feasibility study, whether the project is viable one or not, whether the company is going to allocate a lump sum amount of money or not in a particular project. So on the basis of the profitability of the project, the company can take the decision whether it is going to invest or not to invest. So this capital budgeting decision is also that means project feasibility study is also prepared and submitted to the top management by the management accountant. Again, comparison between standard and actual expenditure. Standard means what? What should be the cost or what should be the expenditure. So after performing the particular activities, then you can able to know what is the actual expenditure. Let's say you are the production manager. So whenever you are going to produce 1000 unit of product, first you have to submit one tentative statement. Otherwise, you can say one estimation you need to provide to the top management that I am going to produce 1000 unit of product for 1000 unit of product. Let's say raw material requirement is this much, labor requirement is this much, overhead expenses is this much. Okay, so on the basis of that, you need to prepare a particular budgeted statement, or you can say standard budgeted statement on the basis of the standard cost. So after performing that activity, that means after production of 1000 unit, you can able to know the actual expenditure. Why there is the comparison between standard as well as actual expenditure? Because you can able to know when you are taking the decision whether your decision are favorable or not. We have already taken, let's say 10,000. Actual expenditure is less than 10,000. That means we are favorable situation. So for variance analysis, we need the standard as well as actual expenditure. So it is the duty and role of the management accountant to go for comparison of standard as well as actual expenditure. Again, another role is there, which is most important, that is protection of business assets. Protection of business assets, because whenever we are doing the business is having lot of assets, many assets. You can talk about your physical assets or intangible assets. You talk about your intellectual assets like your human capital. So management accountant has the important role, we can say one of the crucial role to protect the assets of the business. Various assets are there. So assets need to be protected by the management accountant. Again, management accountant also go for formulation of the tax policies. It can go for tax planning, tax management. Why? Because always the taxation department or taxation authority wants to collect more tax from the business, and on the other side, by taking the loophole of the income tax, the business wants to pay minimal amount of tax. So the management accountant has the responsibility, has the role to plan for the tax and to manage the tax in such a manner so that by taking all the provisions of the Income Tax Act, the business needs to pay minimal amount of tax to the government. Again, another role is there, that is monitoring economic and social forces as well as government policies. The economic and social forces and government policies, these all are the macro factors. That means these all are not in the hand of the business. We cannot control the economic forces. If there will be any change in the economy, so it is driven by so many factors. It is not in our hand, or it is not in the hand of the management accountant of the business that it is going to control the entire economic changes or economic crisis or changes due to any factors in the economy, social forces as well as government policies. Because when the government is changing, policies are also changing. Yes or no? So it cannot change. These all are macro factors. But management accountant has a role to monitor all those policies. Before they are going to change, that means the business must be ready to adopt all those changes. Because change is an inevitable process. We can't stop it. Definitely it will change. Economy will change. The society, taste, preference, their interest, everything will be changed. Government policies will be also changed. But as a management accountant, what is your duty? You have to monitor it. When the government is going to change, or when you are observing that the economy is going to take some turn after 5 days, 7 days, or 1 month or 1 quarter. So prior to that, you need to formulate your own policy for the business so that you can able to cope up with the changes. So these all are role of management accountant. So as I have already told you, the list is not exhaustive one. We cannot say that only these 5 roles are there. So many important role and important portfolio of management accountant is there, but here I have cited only these few roles, a few important roles. So 5 major roles I have already cited and we have already discussed. If you have any doubt or any query, you can ask me now. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No doubt. Very good. So this is all about the first part of unit 1, that means introduction part. So next part we are going to discuss about one important aspect, though it is important, but it is very, very easy. So we are going to discuss about statement of cost or cost sheet. Okay.
Sir, sorry, this is Subrat Kumar.
Hmm.
Sir, when will do practical, I mean, like example exercise?
Practical exercise.
Yes,
So-
I mean, yeah, determination of sales mix and something like.
Sales mix. So that we'll go systematically.
Standard question.
So
Sorry, sir?
first we have already covered the introduction part to cost and management accounting. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we are going to discuss about how to prepare this cost sheet. In cost sheet also numerical part is also there. Some
Yes.
numerical portions are there. Because sometimes you may also get in your exam that how to prepare the cost sheet by taking.
Yes, that definitely will come, sir. We need to understand
Okay.
that.
So in unit 1, preparation of cost sheet or statement of cost.
I think determination of mix also is a part of the unit, right, sir?
Yeah.
Sales mix.
Sales mix is all about your whenever we are talking about this sales mix, it is coming under second unit, CBP analysis.
Okay, because as per our syllabus, it is what I gone through. I think in first unit, and I have one doubt when we discuss, then I'll discuss in that time.
Which one?
Sir, I'm talking about sales mix in our syllabus in the first unit.
Sales mix,
Sales mix, determination of sales mix.
details about sales mix.
Not details, determination.
Determination of.
No, determination about
Determination.
Yes,
determination
sir. Determination of sales mix.
determinations of sales mix. So next, actually, whenever sales mix is coming under your management decision by application of this managerial, managerial application of this CBP analysis. Okay, cost volume profit analysis. So there you can take the decision about the sales mix.
Yes, because
That
there is some calculation. I was just getting confused in the PV ratio.
Hmm.
Whenever we discuss in that, I need to understand.
Let me complete this unit 1, then we'll go
Sure,
for
sir.
unit 2.
Sure, sir.
Under
Definitely.
unit 2, we'll discuss
Consider
CBP
marginal
analysis.
costing.
That
Marginal
under marginal costing CBP analysis is coming.
Sir, calculation I am not able to understand that. I mean, my classmate.
So ସେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ managerial application of marginal costing ବା CBP analysis ଆମେ discuss କରିବା ସେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ କହିବି sir.
Sure, sir. Okay, sir.
5-7ଟା 8ଟା ଖଣ୍ଡେ application ଅଛି, how you can apply this marginal costing. This is one of the important.
Sir, ଗୋଟେ request can be due to short time. ଆପଣ ଟିକେ selected କୋଉ କୋଉଟା ଆସିବ ଏ exam ରେ ମାନେ just if like cost sheet that will definitely come.
ସେମିତି cost ମାନେ exam ରେ କୋଉଟା ଆସିବ କହିକି ସେମିତି
नहीं मैंने सर definitely as per your sir आज में ना experience को तो कोटा
listen. As per my experience, because listen, if you are not in a position to understand the basic or fundamental parts, you cannot enter into the problem.
Yeah,
right?
sure, sir. That's correct, sir.
Directly, if you will take one problem and you will solve it, Okay.
Yes.
So, because I don't know how many of you are from BCom background or how many of you are from BBA background.
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
correct.
Because most of you may be from also BTech background. Or
I'm sir
not from,
commerce background. I'm from commerce background.
you are from commerce background.
Yeah.
For you, let's say it's okay.
Yes.
But those who are not from commerce background,
Yeah, yes.
I am from BTech. I am from BTech.
BTech, for BTech, they need to understand now whenever we are
Sure,
talking
sir.
about
Then
marginal costing,
this is little difficult for them. Yes,
they
sir.
should understand that marginal costings only consider there are two types of cost. One is variable cost, second one is fixed cost. Unless until they identify what is variable cost, what is fixed cost, then how will take the how will they in a position to
Sir, I got your point. Last first semester, what happened because we have not covered all the sir, the class
it is not
subjects.
possible to cover all.
Sir, I think let's
Because
go through the class first.
Listen.
I think this is-
I don't
No,
believe in that
don't
philosophy.
let's class. We are talking about a class about. I'm sorry, who is talking about? Let's talk. We are talking about class.
No.
Last syllabus I'm in accounting that was not covered, and that's why I'm just talking about who is so important for exam point of view. So we need to focus on that also.
No,
I'm
exam point of
part of class also. I'm not talking about anything else.
Yes, sir. More class also we need.
Exactly. I'm talking about who is saying in that way. I don't know who is that my classmate. I don't know, but I'm talking only for class. Focus on class. I'm not talking about anything else.
what you are saying that is correct. What you are saying that is correct. But more number of classes and other things that is not within my.
I'm just requesting, sir, or nothing else. Because if there is require, I will request. This is one of the most critical subject for us. This is not like a marketing subject like that. We can
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
anything else. This is very important. We need to understand that. That's why I'm talking about it.
Listen. Within 10 classes, actually, it is quite difficult to cover.
Exactly, sir. That is my concern. So that we need to focus on our what will come in an exam.
No.
If there is short period.
That I can't give you any guarantee actually.
Okay.
Because I listen.
No,
So
sir,
I am taking.
I understand your
I'm
concern.
taking your class. I am taking
I
your
understand your
class.
concern, sir. I understand your concern. I am not my classmate who is talking about. Well, let's discuss. I am just telling to him.
No. Actually, what I am telling that let's continue the class. Whenever issues are coming, then we will talk to sir.
No,
I'm
I'm
not telling
talking
anything
about
else.
only class, my dear classmate. I'm talking about
Hi,
class.
Subrata bhai, time waste होउची एमती
Okay,
डिस्कशन
please
कले
continue.
टाइम वेस्ट होबा
Anyway,
किछ
Jenny,
होबा
just carry on, please.
Classes रे entire syllabus सारीबा सब problem cover करिबा जो problem cover करिबा तमर exam रे आसीबो ना आसीबो
I will say last time se situation hella seti pai ko auchi. Ote balance sheet am banauthili balance sheet seta match alan seta class am hellani problem hoila. Seti sir request करथली anyway sir we need to
लास्ट
carry
टाइम कोन हेतला सेटा नै बसले कोन होबे एबे तो क्लासेस करिया पे पड़िबो ना ऑलरेडी 10 मिनिट डिस्कशन रे वेस्ट करले
not best my dear friend, not best. Behave yourself, not best.
Okay.
Sir, I'm sorry sir
Please stop arguing and
ए
let's
बिहेव
start
योरसेल्फ
to
तमे
start
सार को
class.
किछ कहया पाई दो ना तमे खाली सार को ऊपर चढ़ी कहउछु बिहेव योरसेल्फ
Sir, mute everyone.
क्लास स्टार्ट करंतु
If you have any queries from your management side, actually you should talk to the management of DDC. Okay, if you are raising your query or if you are addressing your grievance, then I am unable to help you. Sorry, Mr. Supra. Okay,
yes sir.
try to understand.
Yes sir.
I
I
have
have
also
only
some-
one doubt, that's why I'm
Listen.
asking you, nothing else.
I have also some sort of limitation
Sure sir.
because I have only allotted 10 classes. Within these 10 classes, this is my duty. What are the part I am going to cover? If you are saying that I'll go through the detail problem part, then time will not permit, because 5 units, 10 classes. Okay, so 10 classes means 10 hours.
Yes
Try
sir.
to understand. That is a difficult task. But still, then I'll just give you some ideas in order to enhance your understanding. ऐसा नहीं है कि सर एग्जाम में क्या क्या आएगा तो entire things you need to discuss. No, that is not possible.
Sir, cost sheet important, sir. Oh, sir.
You should get some idea because you people are not small kids. Once you are getting the idea, you will go through the textbook. If you go through various study materials and other things also, you can prepare
बहुत
yourself.
technically जिनसे भी अच्छी sir.
Technically ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି।
हाँ,
If you
sir.
are really-
तो क्लास हेले जानिबा ना भाई
ଶୁଣନ୍ତୁ
क्लास तो ହେଇନି
10ଟା କ୍ଲାସ ରେ ଯଦି ହଉନି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ତ ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲି ଜିନିଷ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଅଛି you can take the contact details of the teacher
हाँ, sir.
and
sir,
later you can try with the contact.
Sir, we are
हमको
extremely
क्लास
sorry for
करिया
the
तो दियो तापर जानिबा
Sir,
कोन
please continue the
Okay,
class.
leave it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
discussion, sir.
So we are going to discuss about the statement of cost. This is the last part of this unit 1, that is cost sheet.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Okay.
whenever we are talking about cost sheet, this cost sheet is also otherwise known as statement of cost. Why you need to prepare this statement of cost? The reason is very simple. Because we need to ascertain the cost. As we have already discussed in our previous class that whenever we are going through discussing cost accounting, what we are doing? We are finding out the cost of a product or cost of the service. So with the help of this cost sheet, we can able to find out what is the total cost of a batch of product incurred during a particular period, or what is the unit cost of a particular product or particular service. Okay. So cost sheet is defined as a document, or you can say it is a statement which provides the necessary information of the detailed cost of a cost center or cost unit. Cost center, as you have already discussed, cost center may be what? It may be a particular person, it may be a particular department, or it may be a particular activity. So we are going to determine the cost, detailed cost of a cost center, or we are going to determine the cost unit. That means unit cost of a product. Okay, so thus we can say cost sheet is a periodical statement of cost designed to show in detail the various elements of cost of goods produced, like prime cost, factory cost, cost of production, and total cost. So we'll see what is prime cost, what is factory cost, or what is cost of production. Then we'll know what is the total cost. So after knowing the total cost, then we can able to determine what is the cost accounting profit. So cost sheet is not like your financial accounting or financial what we can say statements that it will prepare annually as per the law, but it is prepared on a regular interval. It may be prepared weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Okay, so in cost sheet we can able to ascertain the unit cost of a product, or we can able to ascertain the detailed cost that is incurred of a cost center. So then what are the objectives of this cost sheet? So it reveals the total cost and cost for units of goods produced. Okay, we can able to know what is the total cost of goods produced during a particular period, or during a particular lot, during a particular batch, or we can able to know what is the cost for unit cost of the goods. Again, it discloses the breakup of the total cost into different elements. We cannot say that total cost is 50,000, so 50,000 is the total cost. That is 50,000 can be break up into various elements or various components. So that's why we can able to say what is the prime cost, or what is the factory cost, what is the cost of production, what is the total cost. So total cost can be break up into various elements also. So in order to break the total cost into various elements, we need to prepare the cost sheet. We can able to know what is the prime cost, what is the cost of production, etc. Again, it provides a comparative study of the cost of current period with that of the corresponding previous period. So whenever we are preparing the cost sheet, let's say we are preparing the cost sheet of this quarter. So we can able to know what is the total cost of this quarter. So this quarter total cost can be compared with the last quarter total cost, or last year this quarter total cost. So cost sheet acts as a guide to management in fixation of selling price and quotation of tenders. So many tenders are also there. Sometimes let's say one organization is inviting 10,000 ballpoint pens. You are one of the manufacturer of ballpoint. So whenever you are going to participate in the tender process to fix your quotation of the product, how will fix? First, you need to prepare the cost sheet. On the basis of cost sheet, the management can able to fix the selling price of the product, and they can also quote on the tender. When they are participating on the tender, they can able to quote their product price. That means unit cost of the product. So this is another objective of cost sheet. Then what are the importance of this cost sheet? Why we need to prepare cost sheet? First one, cost ascertainment. That means we can able to ascertain, we can able to find out the cost of a product, or we can able to find out what is the total cost of the product during a particular period or during a particular lot size or batch size. Again, fixation of selling price with the preparation of cost sheet, we can able to know what is the unit cost of the product, so that we can able to fix our selling price. Let's say cost price is 10 rupees. Then you have to decide what will be your profit margin. You just add the profit margin into the cost price. Then you can fix the sales price. Again, it helps in cost control also, because total cost of the product can be broken up into various elements like your factory cost or prime cost, factory cost of production. So these all are the various breakups of the total cost. So let's say you are looking at the prime cost. Whenever you are looking at the prime cost, you can able to compare what is the prime cost of my last quarter, what is the prime cost of this quarter. If this quarter prime cost is more, why it is more, whether raw material price has increased or labor cost has increased or overhead cost has increased. So once you are identifying those reasons, then you can able to take various preventive measures or precautionary measures in order to control the entire cost. Again, cost sheet also facilitates the managerial decision making. Managerial decision making means it helps in taking important decisions by the management. What are the important decisions? Whether to produce a particular component or we are going to buy the particular component. Let's say you are preparing the cost sheet. So whenever you are preparing the cost sheet, you could able to know that the unit cost of the product is 10 rupees. Okay, the same product is available in the market at 8 rupees or 9 rupees. So if it is available at lower price, then you can able to compare whether you are going to produce that goods or whether you are going to buy that goods from the market. If we are producing ourselves, then unit cost is 10 rupees. If we are going to buy from the market, then unit cost is 9 rupees. In that case, you have to decide whether you are going to produce or going to buy. Once you are preparing this cost sheet, you can able to know what is your total cost or what is the cost of a particular product and what is the cost of that particular product that is available at what price in the market. On the basis of that, you can able to take the decision. So this is also managerial decision. Again, what prices of the goods are to be quoted in the tender? Whenever you are participating in the tender, at what price or at what cost you are going to quote your products in that particular tender. So whether to retain or replace an existing machine, that means existing machine is there, whether you are going to retain it, that means use it, or you are going to replace it with new machine. So this is in all those cases, actually we need managerial decisions. So managerial decisions can be also taken with the help of this cost sheet. So please remember, one of the important point is that whenever we are going to prepare this cost sheet only consider the elements of the cost. We have already discussed about the classification of cost. So cost can be classified by taking various parameters or various base, isn't it? So here, whenever we are preparing this cost sheet, we need to consider the elements only, components of cost only. So production of goods and service requires different factors such as raw material, human resource, power, machinery, and lot other elements. Whenever we are producing any goods, let's say you are producing a bakery product, bread. In order to produce a bread, what you need? You need material, raw material. Yes or no? You need raw material. Raw material like you need some flour, you need some sugar, you need some salt, you need some oil. So these are the raw material. Again, you need the human resource because bread has to be prepared by any human being. It may be prepared with the help of an oven, but that oven must be operated by a human being. Yes or no? So we need also human resource. Again, we need all other expenses like we need power, electricity, we need to use the machine. Again, we need also other resources for producing a particular bed. So a farm engaged in production activities have to pay for this entirely different expenses which constitute the cost of production. Please remember, total cost is composed of payment made for different goods and services necessary for the production of the commodity. So these different parts of cost of production is known as elements of the cost. So you just look at here. Here we are saying we are using raw material, we are using human resources, we are using power, machinery, and others. So here raw material is one part, that is material cost. We need material cost, one element is there. Again, we need to take the help of the human resources. That is your you need labor. So that part is coming under labor cost. Again, you need power, that means your electricity. For that, you need to pay electricity charges. Whenever you are using machinery, you need to pay some maintenance, repair maintenance cost. Sometimes you need to you also need fuel cost, oiling, greasing, etc. So these costs are known as the expenses. These costs are known as the expenses. So here total cost of the product can be categorized into three elements. What are these three elements? Look at, these are the three major elements. Cost categorized into three major elements of the cost, that means material cost, labor cost, and other expenses. Other expenses in the given example we have already taken, like your power, electricity charges, machine charges, or you can say fuel for the machine, oiling, greasing of the machinery. So these are the other expenses. So cost can be of three types on the basis of the elements. Either it may be material cost, labor cost, or other expenses. Again, each and every element of the cost, again, it can be divided into two. Either direct or indirect. Direct material, indirect material, direct labor, indirect labor, direct expenses, and indirect expenses. So please remember, this summation of all indirect component. All indirect component means indirect labor, indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses is known as overhead. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So indirect element, that means indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. The aggregation of indirect elements of cost is known as overheads. So the direct summation of all directs is known as prime cost. That means prime cost is the summation of direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses. We'll discuss in detail what are the direct material and indirect material, what are the direct labor, indirect labor. Okay, I will discuss.
No.
Yes. Any query?
No, sir.
No. So the all indirect components are known as overheads. Again, these overheads can be classified into 5 heads. 5 types of overheads are there. Please remember. First one is production overhead, factory overhead, or works overhead. All are same. Are you getting my point? What is the first type of overhead? Either you can call it as production overhead, or works overhead, or factory overhead. So that is what. So production overhead, first one. Second one, after production of overhead means what? These are some indirect expenses who is incurred in the production department. That is production overhead. Again, administration. In order to perform various administrative activities like your office activities and other activities, you need to also incur some indirect expenses. That is administrative overhead. Again, in order to sell your product, we need also some indirect expenses. That is selling overhead. To distribute the product from one place to other place, you need to select various channels. You need to select various logistic requirement. So these are coming under distribution overhead. And last one is R&D, research and development overheads are there. Okay. So generally, whenever we are preparing this cost sheet, we are considering the first 4 overheads. We are considering the first 4 overheads because R&Ds are not available in many cases actually. If R&D overhead is available, then we will consider the R&D overhead, because in many cases, many questions actually R&D expenditures are not available. Okay. So these are the 5 overheads. Please remember the first one is production, second one administration overhead, third one selling, fourth one distribution, and last one research and development overhead. Okay. So here we are taking the 3 major components: material, labor, and expenses. So again, we are classifying them into direct and indirect component. Summation of direct component, that is direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses, is known as prime cost. Summation of indirect expenses or aggregation of indirect expenses is known as overheads. So overheads may be of 5 types.
Sir, sorry, sir, I just can't hear. All direct should be?
All direct should be prime cost.
Okay, sir, thank you.
That means summation of direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses is known as prime cost. Summation of indirect expenses or aggregation of indirect expenses is known as overheads. So overheads are 5 types. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Very good. Chalo. So let us understand what is direct materials. So materials which can be identified in the product and that can be conveniently
Please show the
measured.
previous slide. Excuse me,
What
sir. Please show the previous slide.
This one.
Thank you. Okay, fine.
So direct materials means what? Materials which can be identified in the product and can be conveniently measured and directly charged to the product. So in our in the beginning of our class, I hope when we started discussing with classification of cost or basic terminologies of cost accounting, so there you have already seen there is a car. I had already taken that example. Yes or no?
Yes.
In car, let's say tire of the car, body of the car, steering of the car, or you can say seat of the car. So these are the components of the product which can be identified or which can be traced conveniently. Yes or no? You can able to identify tire. You can able to measure the tire. So directly you can able to charge what is the tire cost of the car. Isn't it? So materials which can be identified, which can be traced in the product and can be conveniently measured. आमे पावरिटी कथा कहबा जेतले पावरिटी कहबा म जदी पचारि भितर मटेरियल डायरेक्ट मटेरियल कोन अछि इमीडिएटली यू कैन आंसर सर मैदा तिर लागि छि बा अटा लागि छि yes or no. So that is the direct material. Easily it can be identified and conveniently it can be also measured. So directly enter into production process and for part of the finished product. We can directly enter into the production process and for the part of the finished product also. So direct material includes raw material, material specifically purchased for a particular job or particular process or particular order. So these are coming under direct materials. Parts or components purchased or produced, primary packaging of the material. So it includes the direct material cost. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Next one is we are discussing now direct components. Then we'll discuss about indirect components. Again, direct labor, all labor expended in altering the construction, composition, conformation, or condition of the product. Condition of the product. So whenever we are taking the example of bakery item, what we are doing? We are constructing. What we are constructing? Bread. We are making bread. Yes or no? Again, we are also mixing so many materials together. We are pasting them. So after preparing the paste, then we are processing them on the basis of their weight in the oven, and finally we are getting the finished product. So all labor expended in altering the construction, composition, conformation, or condition of the product are coming under direct labor cost. So that labor which can be conveniently identified or attributed wholly to a particular job or product or process or converting raw material into finished product are coming under direct labor. Like, let's say we are taking one example of car. So in car, what happened actually? Automobile engineer is there, so it has to assemble the various components of the car. So in order to assemble or fix the various components of the car to make the complete car, so here once we are paying the remuneration to the automobile engineer, so remuneration is coming under Direct labor cost. Remuneration is coming under direct labor cost because we are paying to the automobile engineer as he has assembled our car by taking the various elements. Isn't it? So it can be also directly identified or directly traced. So wages paid to such labor are coming under direct wages. So direct labor includes labor engaged on actual production or operation or the process, labor engaged in aiding the manufacture by way of supervision or maintenance or tool setting or transportation, etc., and inspectors, supervisors, or specifically recruited for such productions. Let's say production supervisor is there. We are paying salary to the production supervisor. So that is coming under direct labor cost also. Okay, some inspectors are there. Let's say quality inspector is there. So quality inspector duty is to inspect the quality of the product. So we are also paying the remuneration to the quality inspectors. So this is also part of the direct labor cost because this can be traced out. This can be identified easily. So direct labor will not include, please remember here, wages paid to supervisor, inspectors, etc., not treated as direct, but if they are directly engaged on the specific production process and the hours spent by them on it can be conveniently identified and measured without much efforts are treated as direct labor. As I have already told you that supervisor salary or inspector's remuneration, that these are coming under the direct labor, but it cannot be considered as direct when, let's say, one supervisor is there. One supervisor is looking after 5 departments or 5 machinery or 10 machineries or 10 departments. In that case, the cost of the supervisor cannot be identified easily, cannot be segregated easily. So in that case, here supervisor salary or inspector salary can be coming under indirect labor. Otherwise, wages paid to supervisor and inspectors, etc., are treated as the direct labor cost. Amar gote department अछि, gote department jane supervisor अछि, सेठी ही से काम करूछि, ताको सेठी salary दउछन्ती. So it is easily identified. So that forms the direct labor cost. Amar 5टा डिपार्टमेंट अछि, ता पई गोटे सुपरवाइजर अछि. दिन को 8 घंटा काम भितर से फर्स्ट डिपार्टमेंट रे 2 घंटा दउछि, सेकंड डिपार्टमेंट रे 3 आवर्स दउछि, थर्ड डिपार्टमेंट रे 2 hours and rest hours in the 4th or 5th department, like this. So in that case, supervisor salary or wages paid to supervisor cannot be considered as the direct labor. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If the amount is insignificant, like wages of trainees, apprentices, apprentice, or through directly spent, are considered as indirect. When the amount is insignificant, that means very small amount, like wages of trainee. Some students, they are coming as the trainee, or some students sometimes they are also joining any organization for their apprenticeship. So in that case, what is the nominal amount paid by the organization? So since these all are insignificant and negligible amount, so these are coming under indirect expenses, indirect labor cost. Okay, so that is direct labor, direct material we have already discussed. So let us group all the elements. Let us group together to understand what is prime cost, what is works or factory cost, what is cost of production, or what is total cost. As I have already told you, total cost can be break up into various types of costs. Okay, so that is the main motto for preparation of cost sheet. Because whenever we are preparing the cost sheet or statement of cost, we can able to know the breakup elements of the cost. What are the breakup element here? It may be prime cost, it may be works or factory cost, or it may be cost of production, then it may be total cost or cost of sales. So let us understand what is actually prime cost. As I have already told you, the summation of all direct components are known as prime cost. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Direct component means what? Direct labor plus direct expenses plus direct material. Is it? Then now comes overheads. How many types of overheads we have already discussed?
Five types.
Discussed? Five types. Very good. So whenever we are adding these 5 types of overhead, finally we will get the total cost or cost of sales. Prime cost plus add works or factory overhead. What is the first overhead? Production overhead, works overhead or factory overhead? Yes or no? If we'll add works overhead or factory overhead or production overhead to the prime cost, what will get? Factory cost or works cost. Bujhiyala?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Prime cost re jodi ame factory overhead add korchanti kon ame paiba works cost or factory cost. Again, after getting the works cost, in the works cost, if we are adding the administration overhead, what will get?
Cost of
Cost
production.
of production. Clear?
Yes.
Again, after getting the cost of production, if we are adding the selling and distribution overhead to the cost of production, what will get? Total cost or cost of sales. So cost of sales is not exactly the sales cost. Please remember. Cost of sales. Okay. So that is otherwise known as the total cost. Total cost of the product produced during a particular period. So cost of production plus selling and distribution overheads. So here research and development overhead is not there. So we are not taking research and development overhead. So if research and development overhead is there, then we can also add to research and development overhead in order to get the cost of sales or total cost. Okay. So after getting the total cost of the product, what you need? You need profit. Yes or no? You need profit in order to fix the sales price. Are you getting my point? So sales minus cost of sales, that is either profit or either loss. So here profit or loss is known as the cost accounting profit or cost accounting loss, not financial accounting profit. We cannot say that it is the accounting profit or accounting loss. It is cost accounting profit or cost accounting loss.
Sir, just cost of sales difference to profit or loss ଆସିବ ନା sir?
Put it.
Sir, ଏ ଯୋଉ cost of sales difference ଟା profit or loss ଆସିବ ନା sir?
ଆସିବନି?
ଆସିବ?
ହଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir.
ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସେଲ୍ସ ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ମନେ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ ବୋଟଲ ପ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ୱାଟର ବୋଟଲ.
Yes.
ତାର କଷ୍ଟ ଅଫ ପ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ହେଲା ସପୋଜ ଟୋଟାଲ କଷ୍ଟ ଅଫ ପ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ ପ୍ଲସ ସେଲିଂ ଏଣ୍ଡ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ ଓଭरहेଡ ସବୁ ଆପଣ କଲା ପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବୋଟଲ ର କଷ୍ଟ ହଉଛି 15 ଟଙ୍କା.
ହଁ.
ଆପଣ ମାର୍କେଟ ରେ ତାକୁ ଯୋଉଟା 15 ଟଙ୍କା ହେଲା that is cost of sales.
ହଁ sir.
or total cost. ବୁଝି ହଉଛି ନା ନାଇଁ?
ହଁ sir.
तो सेही 15 टंकार जिंस को मार्केट रे हम मन करतु 20 टंकार बिक्री करिबा. So what is our sales price? Sales is 20 rupees. Cost of sales is 15 rupees.
Profit of it is 5 rupees.
जोटा को हमें सेल करूछंती तार कॉस्ट केते 15 rupees.
हां सर.
Are you getting my point? So 20 minus 15 we are getting profit of 5 rupees. If your sales is less than your cost of sales, then what you will get?
Loss. Cost accounting loss.
Yes. So please just memorize this one. This is very very important. बुझी होछ ना नहीं? आपण जदी कहबे मु एटी जो फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड ता आमे प्राइम कॉस्ट रे फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड ऐड करिया कथा. मु कहबी प्राइम कॉस्ट रे जतेबे फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड नउसंदी फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड रे किछि सेलिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ओवरहेड ऐड आमे कर देले. सर will it affect to my profit or loss calculation? No. You will get the same profit or same loss. But thing is that you are not classifying the cost on the basis of the elements. That means ame jodi selling and distribution overhead ro gote expenses ta ko ame jodi factory overhead re put kariba tebe kon hoba amar works cost or factory cost will be changed, cost of production will be also changed. That means here we cannot correctly break up the cost. Our main intention for preparation of cost sheet is to break up the total cost into various elements or components, so that as a manager you can able to take the decision. मु देखिले मोर प्राइम कॉस्ट लास्ट क्वार्टर रो ए क्वार्टर रे अधिक होची काई को अधिक होची ना मार्केट रे इन्फ्लेशन अछि, डायरेक्ट मटेरियल रो कॉस्ट बढ़ी जाई छी, डायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट इज आल्सो इंक्रीज, डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस इज आल्सो इंक्रीज, so nothing can be done. So सही केस रे जदी इन्फ्लेशन सिचुएशन रो ए जो प्राइस ऑफ द मटेरियल इज ऑलरेडी इंक्रीज, automatically my total cost or cost of sales will be increased. So thereby I have to fix on the basis of that the sales price. मु सही अनुसार सेल्स प्राइस को तो बढ़ेबी ना. मु 15 टंका रे तयारी करथली जिंस 20 टंका बिक्री करथली. आजि कर डेट रे डायरेक्ट मटेरियल बढ़िला, डायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट इंक्रीज, डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस इंक्रीज. सो 15 रुपीस कॉस्ट आसी की 20 रुपीस हला. So my total cost is cost of production is 20 rupees, or total cost of sale is 20 rupees. Can I sell it at 20 rupees? So I have to increase the sales price. So increase and decrease of the sales price will be again depends on the managerial decision. Yes or no?
yes sir
Ah,
सर धर जो हमको टोटल कॉस्ट बाहरला तापर हमको कहा गला कि गोटे प्रोडक्ट केते सेल प्राइस हेले हमको एतकी % प्रॉफिट हो तो टोटल कॉस्ट रे हम सेतकी % ऐड कर दे कि जदी हम सेल प्राइस बाहर करियो तो प्रॉफिट हमर सेतकी % बाहरी होई
बाहरी हो तो आपण जदी सुनतो सेल्स देयर आर टू वे cost plus 25% of cost or sell 25% of this sales. दीटा दिन सब चिंता करंतु एडे आपण पाइले टोटल कॉस्ट आपण जदी कहितबो क्वेश्चन रे मने करंतु कहि जी टोटल कॉस्ट रो 25% प्रॉफिट हमको दरकार तबे कॉस्ट प्राइस आपको हम नबा बेस आकार रे तारे 25% वी आर गोइंग टू कंप्यूट जदी एडी कहूची आपको जे सेल्स रो 25% then we need to go for reverse calculation. Please remember first we need to find out what is the sales, then we have to determine the profit. Is it clear? We'll take one or two problems to clarify your doubts in our next class. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss
okay
in detail. I'll take one or two problems. Don't worry about it. Is it clear?
Yes,
yes
sir.
sir
All of you?
yes sir
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let us wind up the session for today. So tomorrow again we'll discuss on the same time. Thank you
Sir,
everyone for that. Any
सर मु
query?
कहतले कि जो क्लासेस गुडा कंप्लीट हो जाउची तार
Hmm.
स्लाइड्स गुडा के पीडीएफ रे मिल जिवई
PDF रे शेयर कर देबी तो कोठी शेयर करिवि?
सर हमर दीपक सर को शेयर करले से ग्रुप रे शेयर करते
Okay. ठीक अछि. I'll share with Deepak. Okay.
थैंक
Good.
यू
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.